Good afternoon. My name is Chinyere Opara, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to campus and today's commencement exercises here in St. Ignatius Church. USF is proud of the graduates who have preceded you over the last century and a half. We're not only proud of what they've achieved, but of how they achieved it, with passion and purpose, with compassion and ethics, with a desire to serve the community, to serve the common good, to make the world a better place. These USF graduates went forth, in the words of St. Ignatius, to set the world on fire. Today, as new graduates, you join a community of USF alumni more than 100,000 strong. We are proud of you, and we can't wait to see how you too will change the world. Presiding at this afternoon's exercises is the Reverend Paul J. Fitzgerald of the Society of Jesus, 28th President of the University. Now, please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Dr. Zachary Burns, Associate Professor, Managerial and Organizational Behavior, and for the invocation offered by Dr. Vijay Mehrotra, Professor of Business Analytics. Our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, loving family members, honored guests, and esteemed university faculty, staff, and members of our Board of Trustees, welcome to you all. To the Creator of all things, thank you for bringing us together today to celebrate our graduates. And before we begin, let us pause to reflect on our journey and express our gratitude. Let us acknowledge the trials and tribulations that we have faced over the past years and we continue to face as a global community. The COVID-19 pandemic has left an indelible mark on our lives, testing our resolve and reshaping the world that we live in. We honor those that have been affected by this global crisis, and we carry their stories with us, both as a testament to our collective strength and in gratitude for how they have shaped us. We extend our deepest appreciation to the healthcare providers, scientists, frontline workers, and all who tirelessly worked to protect and care for us during this extremely challenging period. Graduates, many of you arrived here just as we began locally and globally to emerge from the dark shadow of the COVID-19 pandemic. Prior to your arrival at USF, our campus had been closed for the most part for more than a year. And it was so wonderful to return to the classroom and to see your shining faces. Well, most of your shining faces, since we were wearing masks through most of your time at USF. It's a great joy to be here with you today in person without social distancing and to see your wonderful faces, this time your full faces. And as we celebrate this moment of transition for our graduates, let's remember the power of unity, compassion, resilience, and perseverance that helped bring all of us through these tumultuous times, and that will give us strength as we face an uncertain and potentially turbulent future as well. Most importantly, the bonds that we have forged, the lessons that we have learned, and the triumphs that we have achieved in the face of adversity are testaments to our collective spirit and to our ability to persevere in times of uncertainty. To the Creator of all things, we thank you for enabling us to be together today. We thank you for the communities and relationships that have formed during our time here together at the University of San Francisco. And we thank you for the lessons, big and small, that have helped shape our graduates as they enter the next phase of their personal and professional journeys. We are most grateful. Amen.
Please be seated. Ms. Nora Wu, a member of the University Board of Trustees, will formally open the ceremony. Trustee Wu.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my honor to formally open the 164th commencement exercises of the University of San Francisco School of Management. The distinctiveness of your Joshua education stems from its deeply rooted history and a mission grounded in intellectual rigor and a faith that does justice. Since its beginning nearly 500 years ago, Joshua Higher Education remains committed to academic excellence, service, leadership, and a holistic experience. Let us also acknowledge those who have invested in your future, loved you, encouraged you, supported you unconditionally. These individuals, your family, friends, and your dedicated professors deserve your thanks and recognition. Please join me now in recognizing all those who help you make today possible. Today, you join the ranks of many millions of alumni of Joshua universities around the world. We know the future is in good hands. Congratulations.
Thank you, Trustee Wu. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Charles Martin Ramsden, candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Management, who is representing the undergraduate class of 2023 as its speaker today. Mr. Ramsden.
Good afternoon. This moment has been a long time coming, And I want to take a moment and take a deep breath. Maybe we should all take a deep breath. My fellow graduates, we're here, we've made it. Father Fitzgerald, Provost Opara, Dean Erhamjans, distinguished trustees, esteemed faculty, honored guests, friends, family, and of course my fellow graduates. I was told that it's a bit impolite to thank individuals from the podium, but my mother is here today. So to Leslie Paulus O'Brien, also, if anybody deserves any credit for my success here, my beautiful wife and my children are here today. Thank you. I'm grateful and honored to have an opportunity to address you here today. As I reflect on what graduating from USF means, I'm reminded of two special stories. They're short, but they're true, and I'm going to share them both with you now. The first story is something that happened long before I began studying here, but I believe it expresses the best qualities of this university. Years ago, following an incident of vandalism here on the campus, an office at USF received an anonymous letter in the mail. The letter said that it was written by a teenager who had spray painted on USF property. The writer said that what they realized that what they had done was wrong. They were now committed to changing their life, to helping others, and to finding a positive use to their talents. Although the letter was not signed, it contained a significant amount of money and a return address, saying that if this were not enough to fix the damage done, the writer would be willing to do whatever it took to make amends. The person who received that letter here at USF wrote a response, simply replying that the main goal of this university was to instill the same values that that writer had expressed into the students who attend USF. Values such as honesty, integrity, courage, and responsibility. If the writer had learned these lessons through their experience here at USF, then the university could ask for no greater reward than this. And in that reply envelope, they returned the money and instructed the anonymous teenager to invest that money into whatever organization they felt would help other young people learn these same lessons. When I came to USF, this story made me proud that these were the values and principles upheld at my university. We teach and live by our Jesuit values, values such as cura personalis. We've all heard this. This is the care for the whole person. Another one is cura apostolica. That is the care for our mission, that we should all be mindful of our mission together. And of course, the Jesuit principle of the Magus, of striving to glorify God by contributing more to life, more to the greater good. And not just for show, not just for lip service, but in real action. Whenever I think of that story, I'm struck by the university's request to invest the money. That request to invest reminds me of the second story I wanted to share with you, which is a parable, actually. It's a parable from the Gospel of Matthew, the parable of the talents. In Matthew chapter 25, Jesus tells of a rich man who is going away on a journey and entrusts his fortune to his servants, each according to their abilities. To the first he leaves 5. To the second he leaves 2. And to the last he leaves only 1. The servant with 5 is bold, and he invests wisely, and 5 becomes 10. When his master returned, he told him, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, to you I will give great responsibilities." The second servant with only 2 was bold as well. He invested wisely. 2 became 4, and his master returned, telling him, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities." But the last servant, with only the 1, he was fearful. And fearing failure, he took his gift and he buried it away. When his master returned, he still had only the 1 he had been given. His master called him wicked and lazy and sent him away with nothing. Now, this is a parable, and all of my fellow graduates, you're smart, you understand this. So I would ask you to consider the talents that you've been given during your time here at USF. I would ask you also to remember that list sent to the anonymous teenage vandal so many years ago. Honesty, integrity, courage, and responsibility. I myself, as a teenager living just down the hill in the shadow of USF, I thought of this university as a palace on the hill, a place for the rich, the privileged, the elite, not a place for me. I never imagined that I would have an opportunity to study here. And to this day, I have no idea who wrote that letter back to me. But when I received that reply, I received it as a gift and a confirmation that I was on the right path. I have since made it my primary purpose in life to be of maximum service to God and to my fellows, to put my talents to their best use, to help others, and to improve our world. So I put it to all of us now, my fellow graduates, how will you use your talents? How will you invest them in our world? This is our charge. This is our challenge. Come up, receive your degree, and go forth. Invest yourself wisely and change the world from here.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsden. I am pleased to introduce Ms. Samreen Sabah Holberg, candidate for the degree of Master of Business Administration, who is representing the graduate class of 2023 as its speaker today. Ms. Holberg.
Good afternoon. Father Fitzgerald, Provost Opera, Dean Ermjamst, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, parents, friends, and fellow students. It is an honor to be standing here today representing the class of 2023. I speak for my fellow students when I say here, today is a defining milestone. It represents a culmination of the intellectual and spiritual journey we've undergone while we've been here. I distinctly remember walking towards our downtown campus at 101 Howard on my first day and feeling completely in awe of my surroundings. I was here in San Francisco. I was here and very nervous. Like many of my classmates, I felt a sense of anticipation about the academic and intellectual challenges that lay ahead. I was enthusiastic to find new territory, break new ground, and build a community in this new environment. But most importantly, I was grateful to be here despite the pandemic. Today is a celebration of our academic accomplishments, but it is also a time to reflect on the journey that has led us here. Each of us have had our own unique obstacles to conquer, whether there has been the risk of starting down a new road or pivoting to a new direction, the unease of leaving home, our families to move to a new city or a country, the fear of learning something new and being pushed out of our comfort zones. Despite the challenges, we powered through. So let's breathe it in, invest in the importance of this moment, and savor our triumph. We represent diverse backgrounds, motivations, dreams, convictions, and principles. The education we have received at this university has truly been transformative, shaping our perspective on life in profound ways. With every class and every lesson, we have been encouraged to delve deeper into our beliefs and explore what our principles say about the world we wish to serve in. With that, I'd like to share a few beliefs that have helped me through my journey here. First and foremost, be curious, seek knowledge, ask questions, explore new ideas, and engage in critical thinking. Curiosity can help us reach our full potential. Secondly, have compassion. Compassion allows us to put the needs of others before our own, leading to more meaningful and fulfilling relationships. It helps us connect with individuals on a deeper level. Thirdly, be resilient. Life is full of challenges, but it is how we respond to these challenges that define us. Learn from failure, pick yourself up, and keep moving forward. Lastly, live with purpose. Find what ignites your passion and what makes you feel alive and pursue it relentlessly. Let's lay the foundation for a future where we strive for purpose over perfection. Earlier this week, as I walked out of 101 Howard after my first class, I looked over my shoulder feeling grateful for this journey, grateful for all the people that have supported us, mentored us, inspired us. We couldn't have done this without you. I also felt a sense of pride because our education at this institution has given us a deep appreciation for all the interconnectedness for all things. The sense of responsibility to use our knowledge and skills to make an impact in our communities and beyond. We leave feeling empowered. As they say here at the University of San Francisco, change the world from here. Class of 2023, change starts with us. While we've reached the end of our journey here, it is only the beginning of our flight. So in closing, I would like to read a passage from American poet Amanda Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. Thank you, and congratulations to our graduating class.
Thank you, Ms. Holberg. I am now pleased to introduce Dr. Otko Ehrenjamst, Dean of the School of Management and Professor of Finance, who will present today's honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker. Dean Ehrenjamst.
Thank you, Provost Opara. It is my pleasure to present our honorary degree recipient and today's commencement speaker. Will Dr. Wei-Jin Shan please rise? Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my privilege to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, Dr. Wei-Jin Shan, Executive Chairman, PAG. Mr. Charles Cross, Vice President of Business and Finance, will read the citation. Vice President Cross.
Thank you, Otko. Good afternoon. A highly principled and widely respected international private equity investor, a celebrated author whose harrowing memoir about surviving Mao's Cultural Revolution exudes grace and grit, remarkably resilient person for others who this university embraces as a treasured alumnus. Wei-Jin Shan, you've lived an extraordinary life of extremes. You went from making simple bricks and farming in a desert to structuring complex financial deals around the world. Your life's journey demonstrates your unwavering courage at a young age, your tenacious will to survive, and your tremendous hunger for learning. Today, you are one of the world's most respected leaders in international private equity. In the past 3 decades, you've led landmark transactions that have returned billions of dollars in profit to your firm's investors. Those jaw-dropping deals were made into case studies at Harvard Business School. You are greatly admired for your intellectual prowess, unerring foresight, and principled investment practices. Now based in Hong Kong, you built a sterling reputation within your highly competitive industry. You are the chairman and co-founder of PAG, one of Asia's largest private equity firms. Before that, you were a partner of TPG and co-managing partner of TPG Asia, formerly known as Newbridge Capital. At TPG, you spearheaded the first purchase of a state-owned Chinese bank by a foreign investor. Born in Beijing, you were 12 years old when Mao's Cultural Revolution tore your country and your family apart, and the nation's schools were closed for a decade. At 15, you were exiled to the Gobi Desert. You and other teens lived and worked under brutal conditions. You endured unimaginable daily hardships without ever letting go of your dream of an education, even as life in the desert appeared unending. You were 21 by the time China lifted the strictures of the Cultural Revolution. You lost no time making up for the educational opportunities. You became one of the first students from China to attend an American university as a visiting scholar. You earned an MBA at USF and went on to earn a PhD in economics at UC Berkeley, where your advisors were the young professors Janet Yellen, now Treasury Secretary, and her husband, economist George Akerlof, who later won a Nobel Prize. You left Berkeley with teaching offers from several prestigious universities. You chose to join the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. 6 years later, you took your career in a new direction, going to work for the World Bank. You have said that your first impression of being in the United States was akin to time traveling. Having freedom of choice for the first time in your life made you realize that you could determine your own future if you worked hard. Your powerful memoir, Out of the Gobi, My Story of China and America, details your journey. You are also the author of several other books, including your most recent, Money Machine, the Foreign Acquisition That Changed the Game for China. That all may know of our great esteem for you as an outstanding alumnus whose remarkable life story and achievements underscore your determination to survive, your reverence for learning, and your resiliency to thrive and help transform the lives of others, the University of San Francisco does therefore confer upon Weijin Shan the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto, given this 20th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2023, and of the university, the 168th in San Francisco, California. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, members of the Board of Trustees, Father Paul, Provost Opara, Dean Otgo, faculty and staff of the university, families, friends, and graduates. It is my great honor and privilege to speak to you today. Graduates, congratulations for having survived the program and receiving your degree. I know you have not got it yet, but I promise you, you will get it today. Coming to the University of San Francisco was my lucky break in life more than 40 years ago. I arrived from China. I knew nothing about this country, nor life in American university. I felt quite lost. It was Mrs. April Kasu, the Associate Dean at USF's Law School, and her husband, Philip Kasu, who took me under their wings. After having learned of my desire to receive a degree, but with no money to afford it, and no formal education before that, they generously made a donation to the university to cover all my tuition fees. I like to think they did so because they consider me to be charming. In fact, they believed in the power of education, in helping others, even strangers, and even a foreigner. They wanted also to give back to the university. Their generosity and USF changed my life. My salute to Mr. Kasu and to the university. I grew up in China. I missed middle school and high school education altogether. I was out of school for about 10 years. When I was about to finish elementary school in China, the entire society was thrown into chaos and turmoil by the so-called Cultural Revolution. All schools in the country, this vast country, were closed. I was only 12 years old. Initially, I was pretty happy that there would be a long break. But I had no idea that there would be no schooling for the next 10 years for me. For more than 99% of the people of my generation, my peers, there would be no school forever. Instead, we were sent to the Gobi Desert of China to do hard labor. Life was very hard there. We had to work long hours every day under a blazing sun in summertime and in extreme cold in wintertime. We often starved. I would have been taller and heavier if I had had enough to eat when I was a teenager. I was 15 when I first arrived in the Gobi. There was no schooling, almost no books to read, and reading was frowned upon by the authorities anyway. After a day of hard work, which sometimes lasted 14 hours or even 16 hours, most of us would be too exhausted to want to read anything anyhow. For this reason, I consider my generation in China as the lost generation. We were lost because we were denied an education. In our generation in China, in your generation, whether in China or in the United States, 1 out of 2 eventually go to college to receive a college education. In my generation, 1 out of 2,000 in China eventually had a chance to go to college. Without a good education, too many of my peers were denied a good future, and most of them still live at the bottom of the society today. After a long decade, the Cultural Revolution finally came to an end, and China opened up and established diplomatic relationship with the United States in 1979. I won a scholarship from San Francisco-based Asia Foundation to come to study at the University of San Francisco. In 1980, the year when I arrived at USF, only 1,862 people in all of China were qualified to receive a scholarship to study abroad. At that time, about 3,000 to 4,000 people in China were struck by lightning every year. So a Chinese person was twice as likely to be struck by lightning than to qualify to study abroad at that time. It was a very rare opportunity. How did I beat the odds? The only thing that I did differently from the vast majority of my peers was never to stop reading. During all those years in the Gobi Desert, whatever books I could lay my hands on, under whatever harsh conditions, too cold, too hot, too tired, too late, too dark, or too dangerous, I read. I persisted for no other reason than to satisfy my curiosity and to cling to the hope that someday the knowledge could be useful. There's a saying that fortune favors the prepared mind. Indeed, when the opportunities came, I was ready to seize them. My experiences tell me that a passion for learning allows us to achieve our greatest aspirations, because knowledge opens doors to opportunities when the right moment comes. For that reason, graduates, you're entitled to a vacation for your achievement, but learning never stops. I'm now a private equity investor. My firm, PAG, manages about 50 billion US dollars in capital. All of you and I share an interest in business. If you ask me what it takes to be successful in business or in any other field, the first thing that comes to my mind is character. Our university, USF, builds strong characters. What's character? It is the highest ethical and moral standard. It is integrity. Without it, you may fool some of the people all the time, all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. We know that there's a congressman who lied his way into Congress, but we also know his game is finally up. The second success factor is judgment, or the ability to make the right decisions. Without good judgment, no matter how hard you work, you're unlikely to succeed. It's like running a race. If you lose your way, if you lose your direction, your effort will be futile and even counterproductive. Where does good judgment come from? It's developed over time through learning from books, from the people around you, from experiences, including lessons from mistakes of the past. And that is why learning is a never-ending process. The third success factor, in my view, is grit, which means hard work, tenacity, and persistence. You have done that, but there's no letting up. You must press on. All of the above, character, judgment, and grit, are necessary conditions for success, but probably not sufficient. We should not forget there's one factor that very often determines the outcome of a business, and that factor is totally beyond anyone's control, and that factor is luck. Anyone can be lucky and can also be unlucky from time to time. We have seen some investors let their string of success go into their heads, believing it's all because of their own brilliance, not realizing they have also had a good run of luck. They take increasingly bigger and bigger risks until one day their luck runs out. We have seen too many such examples. The recent failure of Silicon Valley Bank is a case in point. Back in 2021, the owner of an investment firm Archegos personally lost $20 billion in 2 days. He had built a vast fortune over many years by investing in the stock market. He must have thought he was invincible, so he took on increasingly risky bets. Then the market turned the other way in 1 day, and his company simply imploded. I consider myself to be extremely lucky to come to the United States, to have studied at USF, to get into private equity, to have good teachers and good partners, and to have friends like Mr. and Mrs. Kasu. Many of my friends from the Gobi days are much more talented than me. They could have done much better in life if they had received a formal education, which was denied to them. Thinking of them, I know to be humble and not to take anything for granted. In business as in life, remembering that luck plays a big part in success or failure helps someone to be humble. Humility helps build character, good judgment, resilience in adversity, all qualities for success. Graduates, you have come a long way to get to this point. Now you have been minted. The world is yours to conquer. I wish you all the best luck in the world and all the success in your future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shan. It's time to proceed to the business at hand and the reason we are all here today, the awarding of academic degrees. As we do, I have a favor to ask of you. Clapping and cheering are fine, but please don't stomp on the floorboards of this grand old church. Dean Ermjans will now present to the president of the university the bachelor's degree candidates in the school. Dean Ermjans.
Thank you, Provost Afara. Will candidates for a bachelor's degree in McLaren School of Management please rise and remain standing? Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the faculty of the McLaren School of Management, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the candidates for bachelor's degrees and to ask you to welcome them into our beloved company.
Thank you, Dean Otko. By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter to the University of San Francisco from the state of California, and of the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, the graduates of the class of 2023 from the McLaren School of Management, the bachelor's degrees, certified by our dean and faculty, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated until directed forward by the university marshals? Father Fitzgerald has conferred your degree, so it is now time to move your tassel from the right side to the left side. The names of the graduates will be announced by Dr. Michelle Millar, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs and Professor of Hospitality Management in the school. Dean Millar.
Naomi Nicole Wardell. Jessica S. Evans, School High Honors. Tajiri Winesberry. Nicolo Tomas Ryan. Holly Michelle Miller, School Honors. Ludi Alaman, School High Honors. Kathy Abadia Ceronio, Summa Cum Laude. Maria de Jesus Cabrera, School Honors. Alex Richard Maurer, Summa Cum Laude. Prashnil Singh, School High Honors. Ozo Beata Francis Dume. Stormy Dawn Maddox. And Charles Martin Ramsden, Summa Cum Laude. Congratulations.
Dean Jams will now present to the president of the university the graduate degree candidates in the school. Dean Jams.
Thank you, Provost Apara. All candidates for master's degrees in the Masagan Graduate School of Management will please rise and remain standing. Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the faculty of the Masagan Graduate School of Management, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the candidates for the degrees of the Master of Business Administration, Master of Nonprofit Administration, Master of Public Administration, and Master of Science, and to ask you to welcome them to the company of scholars.
By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter to the University of San Francisco from the state of California, and of the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, graduates of the class of 2023 from the Masagun Graduate School of Management, the master's degrees, certified by your dean and faculty with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated until directed forward by the university marshals? The names of the graduates will be announced by Dr. Richard Stackman, Associate Dean for Graduate Programs and Professor of Managerial and Organizational Behavior in the school. Dean Stackman.
Joseph Anthony Seehee. Amnaullah Haidari. Marissa Elizabeth McCarthy. Alexander Othan. Michaela Janine Mateo Bernardo. Anton Jacquard. Daniel Valverde, Jr. Barry Marshall. Jacqueline Lee Wren. Jasmine Rodriguez Zamora. Sarah Saida Ahmed. Veronica Marie Nicholson. Julie Mao. Lorena Flores de los Santos. Stephanie Garcia. Jillian April Napik Domagan. Roel C. Gintivano, excuse me, sorry, Roel. Christopher Stampolis. Palomi Paul. Brittany Elise Simpson. Bianca Veronica Widmark. Destiny Casillas. Angelica Vanessa Teopa. Eric John Sammartino Davina. Chloe C. Horner. Keisha Tamara Ward. Sadiq Mohammed Abdullah. George Alexander De Souza. Mark Staccone. Ishan Trivedi. Monil Piyush Shah. Haunan Sun. Brian Matthew Sito. Radhi Mangesh Bahadkar. Anand Mahendra Ved. Dhruva Kumar Anjanappa. Donald Eugene Switalski III. Alfredo David Martinez. Tiffany Alexandria Miller. Ramon Reynaldo Pineda. Michelle Lauren Owen. Alejandro Ron. Cameron Lane Schneider. Michelle Thompson. Alexander Hernandez Garcia. Meshley Beatrice Villalta. Kimberly M. Citalan. Francesca Romana Scher. Evan Bertoli. Aracal Panos Aristakasian. Anita Ramesh Kumar. Miriam Duambia. Darius Foster. Jim Hu. Liang Ying Chen. Jennifer Aurelia. Tina Jane. Flavia Cristina De Souza. Sakura Nishihara. Radhika Kotari. Apurva Dudani. Mustafa Shabir Chas. Christopher Grant Halter. Minyu Yang. Kimmy Yan Luk. Jaishi Wong. Tipmali Sutip Pong Kiat. Kanhate Budmong. Pas Saporn Arun Jaron Suk. Hein Tui Thuong Le. Miriam Amr Mohammed. Pallavi Verma. Frida Georgina Garcia Bustos. Lizna Bandiali. Ashwarya Pramod Patil. Neha Sanjay Gondekar. Anu Verma. Yash Abhay Shordia. Devansh Prashant Gupta. Maxim Olehars. Shannon Joshua Mark. Adam Robert Schwimmer. Patricia Nan Juangsham. Ratanaporn Kualawan. Aparawan Kualawan. Veramo Opichachot. Supawit Tangsambat Visit. Sanjay Pungandran. Diraj Abhay Shavan. Joel Isaac Moraes. Ashwarya Gupta. Samreem Sabah Hallberg. Marcos Iazzetti Lopes. Sorry, sir. Victoria Marcela Gomez Gutierrez. Brianna Lourdes Adoria Pasqua. Christy Jazz Thomas. Pei Zhenshu. Sonia Salmon. Hugo Torres. Shelby Christine Dillingham. Isabel Margarita Zaldivar Kuntzman. Elizabeth Ann Drew. Kyle Matthew Levenger. Jacqueline Aguilar. Peter James Talbot. Lauren Christine Castillo Williamson. Diana Johnston. Rebecca Ann Harlow. Brandon Michael Thrasher. James Paul Leandro. Adam Lawrence Seymour. Carla Helenka Lee. Kimberly Janine Young. Tom Owen Machen III. Jack Tucker. Eduardo Parra. Nina Teresa Erazoza. Sorry. Shelly Esmeralda Lopez. Intan Longnecker. Myra Marquez Zaramba Omake. Michael Corolla. Ryan Hagis Sr. Richard Brown Jr. Kevin Doan. Adam B. Bradford. Kevin Matthew Chapman. Shruti Bagram Satyamurthy. Ashita Sanjay Swaroop. Jayashri Ghosh. Nada Najafi. Zara Kakaria. Mamisha Mittal. Cole Pfeiffer Sanders. Amy Pauline Bastow. Matilda Oyankonsalo Olu Jordan. Mame Ya Kesawa. Natalia Giemza. Julie Solari. Anna Grace Henschel. Molly Rose Murphy. Itzel Victoria Naranjo. Jenny Nopasorn Wajana Suntorn. Samantha Marie Suarez Haushen. Shi Chi Kao. Hannah Michelle Wang. Matthew Anthony Patino Marsh. Rithi Ruth Tumwong. Hon Jun Cho, sorry. Derek Jacob Nakata. Santiago Teodora Igual. Jihao Huang. Rainier Rufa Epsifalden. Gohar Hassan Dar. Anto P. Bijou. Tanishka Gauri Shankar Rao. Tanmai Narendra Umrikar. Ebony Monique Webb. Zoe Elizabeth Wasal. Tamaniro E. Nunu. Neelan Sabapathi Jayakumar. Ashwin R. Shandaran. Vijay Akash Namakal. Shirley Suki. Gayatri Puthuru. Nisha Shavla. Ritika Srivastava. Michelle Vick Mirvold. Long E. Yong, Mary Ann Augustine, Samuel Amaya Ntimoa, Tao Tui Tu Kwong, Jessica Trama Ho Fan, Chi Quan Tron, Elizabeth S. Popoff, Ashtadora, Ana Violas, Andrea Maria Sanchez Mendoza, Uni Cho, Wang Ruan, Sudata Eugene Shetry, Larissa Kivya Cardosa, Tanya Nayak, Eduardo Mustarelli, Tony Rokak, Rita Collier, Ariana Capagrasso, Andre Jonassen, Nune Jadoyan,
Family and friends, these are the 2023 School of Management graduates. To conclude these exercises, I am honored and pleased to present the President of the University, the Reverend Paul J. Fitzgerald of the Society of Jesus. Father Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Provost Opara. I ask your indulgence for just a moment to join me in thanking many volunteers from across the university who helped us to come into this space and will help us out of this space of the marshals. So, thank you. And what is likely with the next organization that you join and that you will lead, oftentimes the most essential people are the least visible. So I ask you to join me in thanking the gardeners and the custodians who made this place so beautiful for you. So dear graduates, as you depart the University of San Francisco with diplomas in hand, I invite you to reflect for a moment not only on what you have learned, but who you have become. The life skills, the habits of mind and heart, the wealth of experiences, the friendships and memories that you have made will last a lifetime. Through your pursuit of an academic degree, you have certainly gained content knowledge and discipline-specific skills. You've also gained an increased ability to learn, and that lifelong learning will carry you through your career and beyond. But perhaps most importantly, during your time at USF, you've become much more deeply human, in the best sense of what it is to be a human person. You've worked hard and persevered, and you have reached the end of this chapter of your life with hope for the future. Hope. The world is a blooming, buzzing confusion, or so said T.S. Eliot. In the span of your life so far, the world has constantly changed and evolved, and not every change has been for the good. Climate change, wars and rumors of war, natural, and human-made disasters, and every species of hate that seeks to divide us one against the other. I pray that these obstacles do not dampen that sense of hope which lives and dwells in your heart. Hope is a powerful force. It is the light that guides us through the darkness, the fuel that propels us forward in uncertain times, the foundation of our resilience. Dr. Sean's memoir, Out of the Gobi, is a marvelous, marvelous study of the power of hope. I really advise you to read it. At a Jesuit university like USF, hope is not just a feeling. It's really the way you navigate through reality. We strive as a university community in the best Jesuit tradition to see the spark of the divine in every single human person whom we meet. Every one of you unique in the world, beautiful in all of the complexity that makes you, you. And we base our whole education on that notion of the inalienable worth and dignity of every human being. And that's the belief that we challenge you to use to build a better future. We're called to serve others, even as we lead them, to be people for and with others, people of solidarity, and to seek to do justice in all that we do. It is through these values and this mission that we can find hope even in the darkest of times. St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit order, said this: "Hope is a good thing, a certain thing, a strong thing. May the one who hopes in you be strengthened thereby." Because yes, many people will gain hope because of you, the way you work, the way you lead, the way you interact. You are equipped with knowledge and skills to make a positive impact on the world. But it's up to you to embrace those values, and it's up to you to enact that mission. Hope is not just a passive feeling. It's really an active choice. It is up to us to choose hope over despair, to choose courage in the face of doubt, to choose bold action in the face of apathy. As you embark on the next chapter of your life, whatever it holds, I urge you to hold on to this hope and use it to create positive change in your own life and in the lives of the people around you. Now, no one is saying that the road ahead is going to be easy. You will undoubtedly face challenges and setbacks, but it's also through these experiences, probably more so than in the easy victories, but it's in the challenges where we find ourselves to be even more hopeful and hope-filled. By reflecting upon your experiences, the lights and the shadows, the setbacks and the advancements, you will become that human being grown to full stature that this world desperately needs. See yourself, see God looking at you, smiling. In the words of the Jesuit paleontologist and theologian Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, quote, "Above all, trust in the slow work of God. We are quite naturally impatient in everything to reach the end without delay. We should like to skip the intermediate stages. We are impatient of being on the way to something unknown, something new. And yet, it is the law of all progress that it is made by passing through some stages of instability, and that it may take a long time." Graduates, I encourage you to trust in the slow work of God, who is at work in your heart and in your mind and in your soul to make the world better through you. So embrace the journey and find hope in every step along the way. As you go into this next chapter of your life, remember the values that have been instilled in you here at USF and use them to create a brighter future for yourselves and for others. Hope is not a destination. Hope is the journey itself. It's not something that we achieve, rather it's something we find already alive in our hearts, and it's just up to us to cultivate it. And so I urge you to embrace hope in all of its forms and to use it to create a world that is more just, more compassionate, and full of promise for more and more people. Your faculty and staff, your mentors, your allies, we congratulate you on this, your commencement day. We are tremendously proud of what you have accomplished here, and we count on you to amplify our work for you by changing the world for the better. So keep in touch. Join the Alumni Association. Let us know what you're up to. Give us the pleasure and the honor of being even more proud of what you do next. God bless.
Thank you, Father Fitzgerald. Please rise. Dr. Allegra Chen Carroll, Assistant Professor of Humanistic Management, will offer the benediction. Professor Chen Carroll.
Thank you, Provost Opara. Take a moment to look at the people around you, in front of you, behind you. Savor it. We're likely only to be here with this exact constellation of people today. I hope you can take this moment to celebrate that you are graduating, to celebrate those around you who are also graduating today, to celebrate the people sitting here who have served as an incredible network of support and care for the graduates that are here, and to celebrate those who aren't here in this room today, but who have also been instrumental in bringing us to this moment. Going forward, we wish that you are able to take all that you have learned through your time at USF, all the knowledge you've gained, the growth you've experienced, and the friendships you've built, and that this experience may be a source of strength and support as you continue. We hope that you each thrive, that you continue to work with others with empathy, compassion, and joy, and that your efforts and achievements allow us to be in right relationship with ourselves, our communities, and our larger environment. Be well all.
Now, please remain standing in place until all members of the graduating class have left the church. This concludes the School of Management ceremony for the 164th Annual Commencement Exercises of the University of San Francisco. Congratulations, class of 2023. Our best wishes to you all.